broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580 from 4 to 6 p.m. on Thursday, November 6th. But you're invited to join us in person for this urgent and necessary community conversation. The theme for this Altadena Eaton Canyon Fire Town Hall is Understanding the Wildfire Recovery Compensation Fund. The primary focus of this gathering is to inform residents about Southern California Edison's newly launched Wildfire Recovery Compensation Program and provide clarity on eligibility and the claims process. There are plenty of questions to be asked, and only KBLA Talk 1580 has the right moderators to ask the tough questions, the right stakeholders and community activists to share their insights, and we have confirmed the participation of corporate executives from Southern California Edison to answer our queries. So be sure to join us at Victory Bible Church in Pasadena, 1497 North Hill Avenue on Thursday, November 6th. The event is free and open to the public, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. That's KBLA1580.com. Light refreshments will be served immediately following the live town hall. This KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Rising Town Hall is brought to you by the Black Freedom Fund.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. And boy, the timeline translator is clocked in because we got a lot to break down today. But first up, on the last day of Libra season, the cusp, Libra Scorpio. First up, happy birthday, Miguel. This is a bop. And of course, listen, you already know you got to keep the applause going and build it up because the last day of Libra season, first day of Scorpio season, depending upon who you ask, the
gang.
Happy birthday to Andy A Plus in the building.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, Andy, you guys do not know how much Andy keeps things together here for not just my show. A lot of other shows here in the evening.
Yeah.
He keeps us on point.
Absolutely.
Keeps us in the flow,
They put
in
me
the
to
pocket.
Work,
we were working him with the clips. Chop this up, Andy. Before we go on air, you got 5 minutes. Oh, yeah. And it's profanity laced. Thank you.
Hey, man.
Shout out to Andy. Happy birthday, Andy.
Thank you, Jill. I appreciate it. You know, I'm just grateful, thankful to be alive. Really ain't got much to say. Normally, you know, I would take a day off, but I decided to come in and create some more magic, man. That's what I do.
So, in celebration of creating the magic,
yes, ma'am,
I suggest sprinkle A plus LA if you have cash out.
All
right. I'm just saying.
A plus LA, APLUS LA $.
Y'all hit that up.
Appreciate
all right.
It.
So, let me let you know what's on deck tonight. As I mentioned, right, I'm live and direct from the front row. So we're going to get into these stories because they are thick and there is a lot of fallout. We've talked a lot about the NBA and betting, and I have been kind of foreshadowing that I feel like it's going to be an immense problem. Well, here we are with a big old problem that was just announced today. It involves some players, some coaches, and the Mafia. So we're going to get into those details. We're also talking Keke Palmer. You know, she has a network, KeyTV, and her new show, Southern Fried Rice, is catching a lot of heat online. So we're going to break down what the show is, why it's catching fallout, and Keke's response to all of that. You know, she's serving full course response. And we're talking Wendy Osefo of Real Housewives of Potomac. She is fighting back in her fraud case, calling her arrest illegal, right? So we're getting into power perception and who's playing chess while everybody else is talking checkers. That's what we're getting into tonight. Now, before we get into all of that, you know, a couple of conversation starters. First up, after the passing of D'Angelo on October 14th, his catalog had seen a 796% surge, 16 million streams in 1 week, with Untitled, How Does It Feel, and Lady back in the Billboard R&B's top 10. So, legacy proof that real artistry never dies. It just re-enters the rotation. So I hope that, you know, those coins make their way to his son, as he's just lost both of his parents within 7 months. So once again, sending prayers and love to him. And also, since we're talking a little bit of the NBAs tonight, shout out to Shaquille O'Neal. His son Sharif is now stepping in to take over the Shaq brand. Now, if you don't remember, Shaq brand was one of the early sneaker lines from a pro athlete to target the $50 and under market. I think the Shaqs only went for $35 at their heyday. They were sold at like Payless, in stores like that, which doesn't even exist anymore. 400 million pairs of shoes sold around the world. And now Sharif is stepping up to modernize the brand, right? We know he was trying to hoop for a while. So Shaq has 3 sons. What's your question, Andy?
What did happen to his career?
Sharif's?
Yeah.
It just didn't pop. He moved around a lot. So one, you know, his mother, he was at Crossroads, I believe. And then their mom got married. She moved to Houston. So I can't remember. I believe that was after his graduation. He went to University of Texas, I think it was, for a minute. He went to
UCLA.
No, he didn't.
Or he got recruited by UCLA.
He got recruited. He didn't. He never went to school here. I think he went to LSU.
LSU?
No, the older brother went to LSU. I can't remember if Sharif went to, but he moved high schools because he was living in Georgia with his dad for a second, and he moved around in college for a bit too, which is okay now, I guess, with the transfer portal. But I think it just, you know, there's only 400 people active in the NBA at any given time. So it may not be you. It may not be legacy.
Kind of sucks because you would think like somebody of Shaq's stature probably would have some sort of pull to bring Sharif to the league.
Here's the thing, but Shaq, one, very much believes in making his children earn their keep, right? That's one. Two, I think, you know, they've tried some things. I think the jelly would wiggle, but I also think there was some injuries there, and it may be, you know, a practical approach. The one to watch, the person who I think is going to go pro is his youngest daughter that is at, she's in Florida right now. I can't remember what college she's in. She and Gigi were born on the same day, my birthday, May 1st. Shout out to the tourists in the building. And they both were hooping. So I think that as far as Shaq's basketball legacy, it's going to be through his daughter. So when we come forward, we're going to get into this NBA betting scandal, the fallout. There's been another player's name dropped in the last couple of hours. It's a lot, y'all. We're going to get all into it. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Life moves fast. That's why California makes voting easy. You don't have to wait until Election Day. Drop your ballot at a secure drop box, visit an early vote center, or mail it. Over 80% of Californians vote early, and you can too. Plus, when you sign up for Where's My Ballot, you'll get a text or email the moment your ballot is received and counted. Don't delay, vote today. Get more information at sos.ca.gov. A message from the California Secretary of State.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima's award-winning team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Actual client compensated for sharing their experience. Some restrictions apply. Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. And your ears are not deceiving you. We're about to get into some things. But first, if you want to join the conversation, of course, you can hit us up at any time, 800-920-1580. That's the phone number to call in and share your thoughts and opinions. We love to hear from you. We also are available on social media. Holla at us, KBLA 1580. Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, KBLA 1580. I'm Estiletto Jill. Of course, you can download our app to catch up on past episodes or anyone's episodes that you may have missed here on the station. And of course, we have a community, a vibrant community. And you can also get the visual to go along with this audio experience in that community. That's our YouTube chat. Shout out to the chat because they get it in. So join there, tap in, and share. We love it. Okay. So this NBA betting scandal is already, we don't know much. It's already like the biggest story of the year. Seriously, right? The integrity era just took a huge hit. Huge. For the most part, the NBA has kind of sidestepped, even though, you know, there are whispers about the ping pong balls back in the day for the draft. The reffing, what was it? When did Tim Donaghy get arrested back in the day?
2000. I don't know if it was 2002, but it was for the alleged madness that occurred in 2002, Lakers Kings.
Right. So, but for the most part, if you think about football and some of the scandals that have gone there as far as signaling and watching, not necessarily betting, and we know what happened with baseball. I bet you Pete Rose is probably rolling in his grave right now. Like, what? Well, We've been talking about it a lot here on this show because gambling is such an inherent part of sports now. And this morning at 6 a.m., several arrests were made, including the Portland Trail Blazers head coach, Chauncey Billups, Miami guard Terry Rozier, who has been under watch for about 2 years now. He's first accused a couple of years back. The NBA cleared him. However, right? And let me tell you, you know, the internet is quick. They pulled up a video of one game. I can't remember who the opponent of the Heat was. And just hearing this news now and looking at that game, you were like, yeah, there's no way he was that terrible. He had to be trying to, you know, point shave and something with that. And former NBA player and coach Damon Jones, right? They were all arrested in connection to a multi-state federal gambling probe that insiders are calling the NBA's insider trading moment. So, I don't know who to start with first, right? It's called Operation Royal Flush, right? And I'll start with Chauncey Billups, since he's the head coach, former player, Olympian, champion of those Detroit Pistons who went on that run back in 2004. She just joining the team after the trade break, all-star trade break, and all of the things, right? So his is probably the craziest when you think about it. And this is all crazy. So they are alleging that Chauncey Billups was the face of a poker party basically set up where they would use his name to draw in other players to come to this rigged game where they were going to lose money. Some of the players that were involved, and again, this is a Mafia ran thing, not just one Mafia family. All 5 Mafia families were working together like they were the United Nations or something to have this operation allegedly roll out, right? So there were like x-ray machines that would scan the cards, contacts that could read stuff. Like it was high level stuff. All right. And they used Chauncey to lure people in and set people up. Okay. Now, if you also recall a few years back, Damon Jones, who's been connected to both sides of this, the NBA gambling stuff, as well as this poker thing, got into some trouble behind some poker gambling things a few years back. But somehow I don't know if he was cleared or what happened with it. So, was he a mark in one of these games? Was he, because he owed so much money, involved in the setup and the play and the other stuff? We're talking the Mafia. And not one Mafia family. They said all 5, okay? And the thing with that is, how does one end up in bed with the Mafia? Well, I'll put you up on a little bit of game. Allegedly, once again. When Chauncey was with the Pistons back in the day, it is alleged, right, that he was all off in MGM Casino. If you're familiar with Detroit, there's a big casino, the MGM, that is downtown. And allegedly that was one of Chauncey's spots and that he has a soft addiction. This is what is allegedly being shared with me by someone. So if that is true, and maybe he got in where he owed some money, because make no mistakes about it, I've talked about this a great deal. We are going to have a gambling addiction problem in the future. The accessibility of it. There are people I know who teach high school and have talked about how there are young men who are already addicted to online gambling. You know, you're not supposed to have your phone, some of the things they take away from. Now, listen. There's a gift and a curse. There's a lot of money in it. We've talked about all of these new podcasts from athletes. The backers are whom? These gambling companies. Underdog, DraftKings, there's a couple more. No shade, no tea. It's just what it is, right? So, I don't know. But that is what Chauncey's being alleged, right? As far as Terry, it's being alleged that he was, giving insider information, slipping info to his friends about injuries, about hurt things. And a third player has been arrested, a former Laker, D'Angelo Russell. He has a snitching rep. No shade, no tea. Just putting it out there, just facts. It happened. He was arrested as well. So I'm not sure about the details as of yet about him. But allegedly kind of the same thing. Damon Jones, who was also a coach, is accused of, letting people know, hey, LeBron's going to be out tonight, not feeling quite well. Again, another person who had a gambling problem, allegedly, at one point, and maybe got in over his head, and in order to work that down, I don't know, right? But so Operation Royal Flush, that's the one with Chauncey. It has the Bonanno, the Gambino, the Lucchese, and the Genovese crime families, okay? Be clear. And then the Operation Nothing But Bet is the player data and injury info being funneled through betting rings. So a lot of people have pointed out that, including your guy Stephen A. Smith, that the current administration, we know, is not above acting out their revenge through policy, investigations, arrest, and intimidation. So some believe that, especially with the timing of the arrest and the press conference, and mind you, there were 30 people arrested in relation to Operation Royal Flush. We don't have any of their names but Chauncey. At least not yet. Okay? And during the press conference, the only names that we were given were the names of the NBA players, etc. Now, I understand that's where most of the interest is, but still, you're not going to mention them? You're not going to put it out there? Listen, Chauncey is being charged with wire fraud, racketeering, and conspiracy. Each of those, maximum penalty on those is somewhere between, I think, 10 to 20 years. Each. Okay? It's not a game. It's not little stuff, right? Kash Patel, the FBI director, which, he just rolled up into this job. No experience. No shade, no tea. He's the one that said this is insider trading saga for the NBA, right? The NBA basically says the integrity of our game remains our top priority, meaning they got to see what's up because they weren't given the heads up that this was coming today. So obviously Billups and Rozier are on immediate leave. Not Rose. Why am I jacking up his name? Anyway, Rozier, I said it right the first time, are on leave. I'm sure D'Angelo will be as well. Damon, I don't believe, was actively in the league or in a role at this time. LeBron is blocked him from calling him. And LeBron is somebody who's managed, for the most part, to say relatively scandal-free in the 23 years that he has been in the league, right? Add to that, Chauncey just signed an extension in April. And as we've touched on with other things, I'm sure that getting arrested for allegedly running a mob-connected poker ring probably slots under a morality clause, and he's not going to be getting those coins. Probably. Andy?
Y'all remember John Tay Porter, Michael Porter Jr.'s brother? If I'm not mistaken, there was a lot of alleging behind his situation, right? I don't know if there was anything that was concrete, but this man is banned from the league.
Right.
Correct? And there was no FBI involvement here. I'm sorry. If you want to keep it a bean, I hate to even say this, but Chauncey, Terry, Damon might suffer the same fate.
D'Angelo, don't forget D'Angelo.
D'Angelo too.
Listen, when the mob name gets dropped next to your stat line, that's not load management, that's Fed time, right? Federal prosecutors pushed for a $10 million bond for Terry, and per NBC News, he had to give up his passport, his $6 million Florida home, and he cannot gamble at the judge per the things that were set up. We'll see what happens. This is crazy. Listen, we got a caller on the line, JW from South Central. Do we have time, Andy? Okay, so JW, what's on your mind? You got 30 seconds to put it down for us. Thanks for calling in tonight.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe I can come after the commercial because it just goes way beyond the surface. It's deeper than that. You got to look at the implications in terms of how the Republican Party has been doing things and thinking on long-term think tank since 1987. We came up with 2025, and so they've been plotting and planning. Then you got to look at how they're forming a threat for all the NBA players because of the timing, like you mentioned already, with no key resistance, and then you know you better not get involved, and you finance them, you better do it discreetly or undercover or not with a lot of, exposure because we will punish you because we already have a history on you of gambling or whatever it may be that's beyond gambling, whatever the matter may be. Because you plotting and planning to plan to this and have a history and dossier and a record and all the above since, way back then. And Pete Rose, when Pete Rose got caught up. So they go back years. So long arm of law ain't no joke. Pay attention. It's more than what meets the eye. It goes deeper than this. What you talking about, this surface level stuff. That part right there. Goodbye.
You are right about that. Thank you for your call, JW. When we come forward, we'll get into more trending topics and headlines. Plus, we are going to hear from some of the sponsors, the supporters behind a film festival that's taking place here in LA this weekend. All that and more.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is endorsing former Governor Andrew Cuomo to succeed him days before early voting.
I'm fighting for the family of New York. That's why I'm here today to endorse Andrew Cuomo.
Adams warned New York, quote, can't become Europe, end quote, while Cuomo's team urges Republican Curtis Sliwa to drop out to boost his chances. Black Cleveland, Ohio Mayor Justin Bibb is calling on federal leaders to support his plan to close Berkeley Front Airport. In a letter to Ohio Senators, Representative Shontel Brown and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, Bibb requested help decommissioning the airport so the city can redevelop the land. And rapper Finesse 2Times was arrested in Texas on 8 charges, according to TMZ Hip Hop. Details have not been released, but officials say he's no longer in custody. The Memphis rapper also faces a terroristic threats case and a negligence lawsuit. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
A stalled big rig in Boyle Heights affecting the 60 West connector to the 10 West. Right lane blocked. Delays away from Lorena Street. West LA, a wreck on the 405 southbound coming up on Olympic, blocking the carpool and that left lane, and the drive is slow moving away from Sunset. Beyond the scene of the crash, South 405 remains pretty heavy and slow all the way to Palo Verde and Long Beach. The northbound side loading up in Culver City from just about the 90 as you continue in stretches towards the 5 merge into Sylmar. Tough as well on that 91 eastbound getting out of Anaheim. That's where traffic loads up, getting away from the 57 freeway as you continue towards Green River.
It's the World Series. These players live forever. Watch baseball at its finest. The World Series, presented by Capital One. Major League Baseball, trademarks and inclusion.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
2 days into the NBA regular season, the league is finding out that they may have a very serious problem with illegal gambling. When FBI Director Kash Patel speaks at a press conference, telling reporters that numerous people connected to the NBA are facing felony and racketeering charges, something is up. Patel announced Thursday morning that more than 30 people across the country have been arrested by the FBI after a year-long investigation. Among the arrests, Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups and former NBA player and assistant coach Damon Jones. According to reports, one of the accusations against Jones is that he provided information to gamblers on LeBron James's injury status during the 2023-24 season. Jones allegedly tipped off people that LeBron would not be playing in certain games before he was listed on the Lakers pregame injury report. Much more to come on this situation. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
On Thursday evening, November 6th, you're invited to the next KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Town Hall meeting. This time we're convening at Victory Bible Church, 1497 North Hill Avenue in Pasadena. The town hall will once again be broadcast live on KBLA Talk 1580 from 4 to 6 p.m. on Thursday, November 6th. But you're invited to join us in person for this urgent and necessary community conversation. The theme for this Altadena Eaton Canyon Fire Town Hall is Understanding the Wildfire Recovery Compensation Fund. The primary focus of this gathering is to inform residents about Southern California Edison's newly launched Wildfire Recovery Compensation Program and provide clarity on eligibility and the claims process. There are plenty of questions to be asked, and only KBLA Talk 1580 has the right moderators to ask the tough questions, the right stakeholders and community activists to share their insights, and we have confirmed the participation of corporate executives from Southern California Edison to answer our queries. So be sure to join us at Victory Bible Church in Pasadena, 1497 North Hill Avenue on Thursday, November 6th. The event is free and open to the public, but registration is required at KBLA1580.com. That's KBLA1580.com. Light refreshments will be served immediately following the live town hall. This KBLA Talk 1580 Altadena Rising Town Hall is brought to you by the Black Freedom Fund.
JP Morgan Chase offers tips for the local business owners in 2025. Small business landscape is ever-changing, and the Los Angeles market is no exception. A startup or legacy business, revisiting your mission statement and recalibrating offerings can renew opportunities for growth and innovations. Programs like Chase for Business Coaching for Impact gives entrepreneurs access to expert guidance, helping you streamline operations, strategize your growth, and navigate complex challenges. Businesses with a clear sense of purpose can navigate any challenge effectively, but also build stronger customer loyalty. Visit chase.com/coaching for impact for more information. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
Life moves fast. That's why California makes voting easy. You don't have to wait until Election Day. Drop your ballot at a secure drop box, visit an early vote center, or mail it. Over 80% of Californians vote early, and you can too. Plus, when you sign up for Where's My Ballot, you'll get a text or email the moment your ballot is received and counted. Don't delay, vote today. Get more information at sos.ca.gov. A message from the California Secretary of State.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's getting late. Why you still here, girl? Have you made up your mind? You wanna make love tonight? I want you to hold me. I want you to be for real, girl. Please tonight. Don't want you to go, 'cause I don't feel like being alone. No, not tonight. Honey, not tonight.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Taking it back to like 85. Ready for the World was the jam.
It's going down tonight for me. You already know.
Going down, Andy.
Shout out Jill Munroe.
Shout out, Andy. Get it in for the B-Day. All right, listen. We are going to put a pin in our conversation around the NBA betting scandal to talk about some creativity, to talk about some positivity involving black men. But before we do that, we got a phone call. So, welcome in Eric from Carson. Eric, what is on your mind this evening? Welcome in.
Hey, Jill. I just wanted to say real quick, I just wanted to focus on D'Angelo Russell and the sports betting. I don't know what's worse, whether it's the legal sports betting or the fact that they were rigged poker games. But somebody like D'Angelo, I wonder, was he fully aware of what was going on, or was he just a conduit? But I'll just say that if you are in the NBA, you know that association with any criminal activity is a negative. Do you think he might have been aware of how serious it was?
I mean, honestly, it's hard to say. This is what, I mean, guys gamble. They do stuff, even if they weren't necessarily before the online betting boom doing that. You know, Boo-Ray, which is a game you hear talked about a lot in NBA circles, a card game that they will play, high stakes, high money, a lot of times played on planes. It's not new. So it could be that they got themselves into a situation because of their habits and they were crossed and didn't have a choice. Or it could be any number of things. We don't have any of the real evidence yet. All we know is that they were arrested. This is what they've been accused of. And it's the feds. But can you trust this administration? We'll have to see.
I agree. I'm team D'Angelo Russell, so I hope it all works out for him. And I just want to say happy birthday to my bro, Andy. I told him he's a Scorpio. That's my opinion. Thanks, Jill.
Thank you, Eric.
I am repping both, so.
You repping both. You're both sides. All right, listen. We have some guests coming to the show. There is, coming up this weekend here in LA, there's a film festival that's taking place. You know, it involves a black man getting behind the camera. We're going to get some details on all of that. Welcome to the show, Mr. Robert McCoon and Marcellus Cox. They are here to give us the breakdown on the Real Black Men Film Festival taking place this weekend. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. So, who would like to explain to the audience exactly what the film festival is and how it came about?
Yeah, well, this is Robert McCune speaking. I'm Special Projects Coordinator for the Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center. I'm also one of their associate directors for this Real Black Men Film Festival. And the reason that this film festival came about 30 years ago, the Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center started a festival for women called Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves. And this was a festival that was solely for black women directors. And about 5 years after that program started, there was a number of black men that said, what about us, right? We have diverse stories, too. We have stories that come from the male perspective that are needed. And from that point on, we're now in our 27th year of the Real Black Men Short Film Showcase and Film Festival, and we're going as strong as ever.
So for you, Marcellus, you have been a participant and winner, right? And what is the biggest misconception people have around black men and their storytelling power? And how is this showcase rewriting that?
Well, I think one of the biggest misconceptions, personally, from my opinion, as the one who has dealt with it, is the fact that a lot of our stories, I feel, kind of just deal with this certain topics that's dealt on tropes. But I feel like we have a lot more diversity to offer with our storytelling. In particular, my film deals with brotherhood of an alcoholic who just came back from war, and he just missed his 1 year sobriety party. And he's been confronted by his sponsor. So I feel like a lot of the stories today, especially coming from black filmmakers, are a lot more diverse. They deal with a lot more things, especially when it comes to our masculinity, which has always been hidden in our culture for so long. So I feel like there are certain stars now that you're seeing that really reach on much more deeper topics other than what you would normally see on stories like slavery or just being in the hood. We have a lot more to offer with our storytelling, and I'm just grateful that we're given the opportunity to showcase that even further.
I love that. So for you, Robert, BHERC has been preserving Black images for decades, but preservation also means evolution. So how do you balance honoring our cinematic past and pushing boundaries to make, old Hollywood a little uncomfortable and still stake space in this new version of Hollywood?
Well, that's a great question, and it's every day is another fight to do so. The Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center was initially put in place to be able to bring resources to Black filmmakers that were either not there or were lacking in the way that other resources for other races were. And since then, these festivals, we have 4 of them, but this one in particular, Real Black Men, has been a launch pad for a lot of careers that a lot of people don't even know about. One being Ryan Coogler, who I would probably say is one of the best the industry has to offer, right? He was a scholarship winner through our program and now continues to be a great example, shining example of the type of stories that can come from these places where people aren't looking, right? In his case, Oakland, California. So the whole mission of all of this with Be Heard is not only to highlight what's already been done and the shoulders that we stand on, right, but to also push forward the future of what our culture and our stories could look like. And it's the genius minds of all of these people that you might walk by every day, shake hands with every day. They come to our platform, and now all of a sudden you see them.
So I have a question for both of you. If a young brother is watching or listening to this tonight and they're holding their first camera or editing on their phone, what do you want them to take from the Real Black Men experience, not just as a filmmaker, but as far as the culture?
Well, for me personally, number one thing that I would want them to take is you have to be true to yourself at all costs. In this industry, the number one thing that you have is who you are as an artist. So I will always say you have to be truthful to yourself, and the best place to be truthful is to look at the art of these Black artists who are giving you the truth from different parts of the world that you would never have seen before other than seeing on the big screen. So you have to be truthful to yourself, you have to be truthful with your art, and most importantly, you just got to be able to be truthful with the culture. And I believe that we get that kind of perspective every single time you come and watch the film on the big screen.
Robert?
Yeah, very well said, Marcellus. And I think for that young person out there holding that camera, get started. Take the initiative. You hear all of these success stories that have come through. You don't really see the work. And then once you're in it, it's easy to get overwhelmed in this industry. But the ones who make it are the ones who are willing to last longer than everybody else. So this really isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. Who is willing to take the long way around? Unfortunately, that's been the path and the story for Black people in general. Who's willing to take the long way around? Because we don't have any shortcuts. So whoever is willing to last longer, that's who's going to succeed. So anybody out there with a camera, with their phone, doing any editing, doing music videos, doing whatever you're doing, keep going. Last longer than the person next to you.
Thank you for that. So tell us again when and where the festival is taking place. It's this weekend, but how can everyone get tickets and tap in?
Tickets are on sale on Eventbrite. Just search in Real Black Men, REEL, Black Men Short Film Showcase. This is at the Writers Guild Theater in Beverly Hills, 135 South Doheny Drive. This Saturday, doors open at 9 a.m. We're gonna provide a continental breakfast. There'll be a red carpet. There'll be media outlets there. Films and blocks will start at 10 a.m. We do provide lunch. Our last block will run all the way until 6 p.m., 7 o'clock, and then afterwards we feed you again with a phenomenal reception. There's going to be a great spread. So You get to come spend the day with us. It's the best ticket in town. $40 will get you access to 21 films. I promise you won't be disappointed. And on top of it, you get fed. So you come spend the whole day with us. It's an experience unlike any other festival, in my opinion.
All right. Well, remember Reel, REEL, Black Men. Look it up on Eventbrite. It's this weekend at the Writers Guild in Beverly Hills. Support these men. They are creating resources for other Black men, for the next generation, for filmmakers. Any parting thoughts before I let you gentlemen go? And thank you again for joining us here.
Oh, thank you so much for allowing us on shows like yours that continue to highlight what's happening in Black culture, and you're kind of the pulse of the community. We appreciate your time. Thank you for allowing us to come on here and be able to showcase what we have to offer this weekend.
Thank you so much. We're excited. Thank you as well, Marcellus, for tapping in with us. Is there a website where they can go and check out some of your work if they're interested as well?
For myself personally, you can go to stellasworld.com. You can also just find most of my work on YouTube or my Instagram at stellasworld24. You can find more about me and my work as well.
Perfect. Thank you both so much for your time. When we come forward, we're going to get into Southern fried rice. Is all the controversy deserved? We'll talk about that and more.
Every night I get on my knees and pray that I will go down. I will go down. Yeah, I'm trying to go down. Down resolution. Every night I ask God for the blessing that I will go down. Yeah, I will go down.
So many doing time. Who are you and I to play with it? It's a blessing. So reach for the sky. Pick up shady off the block and we'll smoke and drive.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Donald Trump has all but declared war on California, sending in the National Guard, blocking disaster relief, and cutting funds to our colleges. And now, he and Texas Republicans are trying to rig the next election by stealing congressional seats from Black voters in states like Texas.
They want to rig these elections, and they want the power that gerrymandering provides.
Seriously, look it up. But Prop 50 is how we fight back. It gives Californians the power to fight fire with fire and beat Trump at his own game. Prop 50 creates temporary emergency congressional maps that level the playing field and protect the power of Black votes. Not just in California, but across the country. Your vote matters, and the whole country is counting on California to lead. So use your vote to protect our power, our history, and our future. Vote yes on Prop 50 by November 4. Ad paid for by Yes on 50, the Election Rigging Response Act, Governor Newsom's Ballot Measure Committee, Ad Committee's top funders, HMP for Prop 50, and Fund for Policy Reform.
The Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center proudly presents its 27th annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase. Join us Saturday, October 25th at the Writers Guild Theater, 135 South Doheny Drive in Beverly Hills, California. This showcase will feature over 20 films by emerging Black male filmmakers from across the country, ready to let their stories be seen, voices be heard, and visions come to life. Saturday, October 25th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tickets are on sale now on eventbrite.com. For more information, call 323-957-4656 or email bherc@bherc.org.
Life moves fast. That's why California makes voting easy. You don't have to wait until Election Day. Drop your ballot at a secure drop box, visit an early vote center, or mail it. Over 80% of Californians vote early, and you can too. Plus, when you sign up for Where's My Ballot, you'll get a text or email the moment your ballot is received and counted. Don't delay, vote today. Get more information at sos.ca.gov. A message from the California Secretary of State.
You ready?
You're invited to the KBLA Talk 1580 Community Health and Wellness Fair on Saturday, November 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Catch at Audubon Middle School in Leimert Park, 4120 11th Avenue. Join us for a day of health, healing, and community connection. There will be health screenings, immunizations, wellness information, a Ketch Charter School recruitment fair, plus music and healthy snacks. And it's all free at the KBLA Talk 1580 1580 Community Health and Wellness Fair, Saturday, November 8th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Audubon Middle School in Lamert Park, 4120 11th Avenue. Come out and bring the entire family. And if you have not yet checked out our KBLA Health and Wellness Hub, you should at KBLA1580.com. KBLA Talk 1580 thanks Catch Charter School, Prudential, Eastside, Cedars-Sinai, and St. John's Community Health. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that a healthy community is a thriving community.
That's right, baby.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. All right, we got one last story before we get out of here tonight. And I'm sure I see in the chat, Morris Phillips says, this story talking about the NBA betting scandal will be forgotten by next week. I definitely don't think that that is the case, because also keep in mind the fact that the mob had an NBA head coach in their back pocket. We don't know what other questions are going to come up or what other kind of fallout might be attached to this. Andy?
It's crazy because I also feel like this is telling for just the athletic realm. It's telling me as if like these contracts aren't really paying the athletes, which we're somewhat familiar. If you're not a star.
No, I don't know. I don't think it's that. I think sometimes these people, like, if the starting salary, right, and I get it, you got to pay your agent and your managers. The starting salary on average is $2 or $3 million, right? Half of that gone, taxes, $1.5 million. Let's say you pay 15%, which is high. You should only be paying 5% to your agent, right? But
trainer.
Let's start there. Let's start with the 15% to the agent, right? So you got $1.5 million. You're paying. That means that's almost $250,000, give or take, that you're gonna lose to your agent. Then, like you said, you got a trainer. Maybe if you got a chef, you got your house, you got these other things. However, even with all of that, Andy, is it unreasonable for you to be able to live? Now I get it, not balling, but live off of $1 million a year, right? That's not unreasonable. And the thing is this, I don't think it's even about per se. It is about the money at some point. But as I've always said, these guys have a lot of free time on their hands. They go into practice, maybe 10, 11. They lift weights. They're done for the day by 2 o'clock. And throughout the season, they really don't even practice. That's a lot of free time. That's a lot of time to get into things and to pick up hobbies, some of them not great.
And they probably can't turn off that competitive spirit.
Exactly.
Because, I'm obviously not playing professional, but I bet on PlayStation games. You know what I'm saying? Whoever want to see me on Madden or 2K, holla at me. You feel me? I'll shoot dice. I'll play cards with the homies and whatnot. So I get that aspect.
And that's what I'm saying. George Diggs in the chat says, stop. These dudes are making money. They just like to gamble. And that's facts. They still shoot dice. You can see them in the thing. Like I talked about Boo Ray. LeBron James had his own cards. They had their own game that they would play. I can't remember what the name of it is now. Something that they got, I think, from Jay and them. But they all play cards. They got a lot of free time. Too much. Why do you think they all pick up the same thing? Not that golf hasn't always been the thing for retired athletes overall, but how many active football and NBA players do you see now with a pair of golf clubs in their hands? Just like when everybody started drinking wine. Do you know? They follow the leader with a lot of free time. All right, quickly, let me get into this Keke Palmer story because I think it's important. So listen, Keke has her KeyTV, which is like a Roku channel. They feature produced content of different formations, a new series that is dropping called Southern Fried Rice. It's based on this Asian girl who grew up in the Black community, was adopted by a Black family, and goes to an HBCU and kind of discovers some portion of herself. People are very upset about that. They're like, why couldn't it be about a Black girl who was adopted by a white family and found her Blackness in an HBCU? The story is based on a true story. It's written by a Black woman. The series is directed by several Black female directors, right? And there's a lot of backlash that has come to it. Keke's response on Instagram was, "It is imperative that people of color have jobs beyond being talent. KeyTV funds creators of color, people behind the scenes, writers, directors, costumers, prop masters, etc." Right? I was going to play the clip, but I think the clip is a little too long and we're at the end of the show. Point being, Keke says she is standing up for women, people of color, black people especially. This show, like I mentioned, was written and created by a black woman who went to a HBCU and saw this experience through her own eyes for others and decided she wanted to make a show about it. And I know that where we are as a country has made us really shut down and be tight and not wanting to let people in. But at the same time, you got to let people be creative and do the stuff that they want to do. And to also show that we don't just have to be locked in to write for us only. We can write other stories and create other stories as well. So those are my thoughts on that. Listen, thank you guys for locking in as you do each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Make sure you're tapped in tomorrow. I have a special interview coming, and I think you're going to like it. I will tap in with you guys tomorrow. Coming up next is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. Good night.
For me. If I have kids, will I let her see them grow? Though I don't know, I lit a lot of a thug nigga. Till the day I go, no broken promises. A sacred bond broken. I know I die alone, but yet and still I'm hoping. Visions of prisons, maybe I'll be forgiven. Now I know it's better in heaven, cause being here ain't living. Close my eyes and see nothing but pain. The world's crazy still, looking for a queen to plant seeds and have babies. Maybe I'll be the one, or just maybe I'm lost. You'll never know, being cautious. If you play your cards right,
I wanna be the one who you can depend on. Who'll be the one who'll
take your time.
Who'll be the one.
Be patient.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. A federal judge has extended the order blocking President Trump from sending National Guard troops to Illinois.